The Unseen Threads, an Allison Cain serial thriller by William Howard. Episode 3, The Thread Unravels. Hours later, my heart was still pounding from the chilling realization that I was already on someone's radar. The black SUV was a warning shot, a clear message. We know you're digging. Rather than running from the threat, which I probably should have done, it worked to solidify my resolve. Sarah wasn't just gone. She had been taken, and by people connected to that foreign symbol, and a hidden world I was only just beginning to enter. First, I needed to play by the rules, at least superficially. I drove straight for the Pueblo Public Safety Building, the button sealed in a small evidence baggie in my pocket. Detective Turner was behind his perpetually cluttered desk, looking even more strung out than usual. Detective Turner, I began, working to keep my voice even. I have some new information on Sarah Peterson's disappearance. He leaned back, a weary sigh escaping him. Miss Cain, look, I appreciate your enthusiasm, but we're following leads. We don't need civilians muddying the waters. I pulled out the button. I found this in an abandoned warehouse on the industrial side of town, a place I believe is linked to the symbol. Marco Chavez drew on a napkin while working at the grindstone. Coincidentally, Chavez suddenly quit his job, claiming a family emergency right after Sarah disappeared. This button is not from around here. The etching on the back isn't English. Sarah is not a runaway. She is a victim of something much bigger. He picked up the baggie, turning the button over in his fingers. A flicker of something unreadable crossed his face. Annoyance? Intrigue? A button, Miss Cain? From an abandoned building? And a barista who quit? People quit jobs. People drop buttons. There's no direct link to Sarah here. We're still operating on the assumption she voluntarily left with someone she knew. He pushed the baggie back across the desk. This isn't evidence. This is grasping at straws. Insignificant, nearly invisible straws. Just let the actual police handle this. The dismissal stung, but I'd expected it. His rigid adherence to process was both his strength and his blind spot. Very well, detective, I said, picking up the button. But if you stumble upon a black SUV with tinted windows loitering near a warehouse that has been abandoned for decades, you might want to reconsider. Back in my firm's quiet office, the frustration propelled me. If Turner wouldn't connect the dots, then I had to. I opened my browser, deep diving into local news archives and online forums for Pueblo and the surrounding communities. I searched for missing persons, disappearances, and unexplained absences over the past 6 months. Cross-referencing names, dates, and locations. My forensic librarian's mind, honed by years of sifting through legal minutiae, slipped into hyper-focus. Most cases were quickly explained. Runaways, family disputes, tragic accidents. But a handful stuck out, whispered anomalies that were beginning to speak to me with greater volume. There was David Chen, a visiting art student who vanished from his Airbnb. Marisa Rodriguez, a recent high school graduate with a passion for obscure digital art. An elderly man, Arthur Finch, who loved puzzles and vanished from his assisted living facility. They were utterly unrelated at first glance. But then I noticed a series of thin threads connecting them. David Chen had been seen chewing a specific rare brand of cinnamon gum before he disappeared, a detail noted in a small forum post by a friend. A similar wrapper, nearly identical, had been found in the periphery of the Marisa Rodriguez case, dismissed as litter. Arthur Finch, according to his granddaughter's desperate online plea, had been obsessed with a quirky, recurring graffiti tag, a stylized bird, near his facility. I remembered seeing that same bird tag in a news photo of the alley behind David Chen's Airbnb. Seemingly trivial, nearly invisible commonalities, each dismissed by official reports as coincidental. But screaming coincidence to my trained eye. That's when I came across the digital commonality. David Chen's art forum profile showed a recent post referencing a new collaborative art platform. Marisa Rodriguez's phone records, briefly mentioned in a local news update, showed a massive data download just days before she vanished. Arthur Finch's granddaughter had worried about him spending too much time on a new brain training game he'd downloaded. My fingers flew across the keyboard. Collaborative art platform, obscure brain training game, massive data download. The pieces weren't tenuously lying adjacent to each other. They were snapping together into a terrifying mosaic. All of them. Each one of the truly gone people had engaged with, or downloaded, a specific, obscure application shortly before vanishing. It wasn't advertised and didn't appear on any of the major app stores. It was something tailored to attract certain individuals, something hidden. The app's symbol, when I finally found an online screenshot, made my blood run cold. It was the stylized, symmetrical design Marco Chavez had sketched on the napkin. It matched the one from the art collective flyer. Searching a deep web forum, I found the direct download link in a thread discussing experimental digital art. My finger hovered over the install button. I could feel the slow, cold dread seeping into my bones. This was it, the entry point into a world where people vanish without a trace. One of those tiny, nearly invisible straws. I took a deep breath, the metallic smell from the warehouse a lingering wraith in my memory. And then with a click, I unleashed the unknown onto my phone. Come back for Baiting the Hook, Episode 4 of the Unseen Threads and Allison Cain serial thriller.